Because of the
like an old Mercedes, you know.
You are?
Yeah, polished to the
Keeps going.
with an inch of its life.
It's not bad though. It's not a bad old Merc.
That's right.
It's a 450.
Model, 64.
Get comfortable. If your phone off.
Yep. It's on shush, but I'll put it completely off. Then
Yeah, put it on. That's right. Put my specs on so I can see you.
Yep.
Mic wise, no good leaning back.
Yep.
But you don't need to be right on it. You just, if you see me doing
Sit up.
that, it just means come back.
Come back a bit.
Do you want to do it? Count 10 to 1, and we'll see how we're going with it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then
1.
1.
A bit low. Coming a bit less.
A little bit, yeah.
And you can muck around with it, put it up a bit.
Yep, because I'm very tall.
Yeah. So if you see me, don't talk to him, because I had some interview the other day and they're going, oh yeah, and talking to Anne. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I thought it was my show.
Andy's better looking, like
Wow,
a man with
I
a
thought
beard.
you said that. There you go. I purposely didn't shave today, and you give me that one.
I should come back in a week. Really?
Yeah, correct.
Got a bit going on.
So you happy with that, Andy?
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, it's not too low.
No,
I'm
that's
high.
fine.
Righto.
No,
That's
we're good.
fine. Yeah.
Half an hour, mate, ish, and yeah, well, you listen to that show, so it's small. You're talking to small
Yeah, that's
business
right. I
owners.
think what I think they related to him is he's just an average bloke who decided when the shit hit the fan he had better have a proper crack at it.
Correct.
Maybe do that from the start.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Novel concept.
No plan.
Start off by, we're going now. We're away. And I want to start off by asking you, what's the worst trend in hair you've ever seen?
Worst trend? Oh, Lord. Ooh, I think the mullet. That was really bad. Yeah.
Wasn't a good one, was it?
No, it wasn't good for anybody, the mullet. I don't think it made anyone look any better. No.
Do you ever,
I think
you
it
ever
just,
have one?
no. I did a few. Yeah, I did a few. And then I hated the flat top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like the...
Like,
Hey,
you know, it attracted the very OCD kind of
oh, did it?
pain in the
like,
ass. Yeah.
get the ruler out.
Yeah. The rest of me shit, but my hair shit.
Yeah, right. Love it. You grew up in a country town, Lee, so you would have done a few mullets. At the age of 18, you get into hairdressing. That was a fairly obvious career transition from a girl in a country town.
No, not really. I left the country and because I wanted to be a hairdresser. So what happened to me, I walked into Collins Street, Elizabeth Street, and looking for a haircut. I don't know, I thought I'd get a haircut, hadn't thought anything of it. And the way they treated me just changed my life. Right there and then, I decided that's it. I want to be a hairdresser now because she was just gorgeous. This girl really cared about me. And I just thought, wow, imagine doing that for a living. Imagine helping people. And that was it. I went home, I was working in aged care, and I went home and chucked my job in and came back to Melbourne and became a hairdresser.
Just to be clear, at the age of 18,
19,
you had that realisation.
Boom.
Mate, that is that's what I call an epiphany.
It was a huge one. Yeah,
And
I
you-
couldn't stop looking at myself in the mirror all the way home thinking, oh, I'm all right.
was this Elizabeth Street hairdresser operating off a low base, or?
Well, I think it was a training school. It just took me a while to get back
Thank you.
over, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. I couldn't believe I'd never experienced that before. I was just told I had ordinary hair because it is wild, and no one gave a shit.
So here's our first lesson, I reckon, is the pitch, because there'd be many business owners listening, salon owners and everyone else. You know, if someone says to a hairdresser, what do? They say, I'm a hairdresser, I cut hair. No, you don't.
No, you don't. No.
What's your response to that?
Oh, people come in at a number, it might be a 2 or a 4, and you raise the bar. Send them out, I used to send them out 10 out of 10, spinning around and happy.
You make people feel like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, make people feel good. It's an incredible job.
It's a great pitch.
Oh, it's a great job. And people don't get it. We can't get people to join our industry.
Really?
Oh, it's terrible.
I thought it was a highly competitive industry, oversupplied.
No.
There's a hairdresser on every corner.
Yeah, I know, but they still can't find staff, and they're working in 1s and 2s. In my day, in 1984.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, they used to be groups of 10s and 12s and 15s. It was buzzing. It was like the cafe culture now. It used to be hairdressing.
It's a ongoing problem, no matter what type of industry the small business owner's in. It's what's your biggest problem? People. Attracting, retaining people.
Yeah, because they're not leaders.
So what we're going to talk about, I'm going to guess, will help any business owner achieve the attraction and retention of great people. So you go back, you go, Mum, I'm a 10 out of 10 now. Have a look at me. I'm leaving aged care. I'm getting into hairdressing. So for how many years did you cut hair before you started your own business?
16.
16.
Yeah, I worked for one man.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a ripper. Paid me really well. Let me run the place, and he was just awesome. And I didn't realise why he loved me. I was a ripper of a team member. It wasn't until I started on my own that I thought, oh, no wonder Sam loved me.
What was he particular? So paid you well, gave you enough rope to hang yourself by the sounds of it.
Well, flexibility. I think I was age 21, and I said, I can't do 5 days a week. That's too hard. You've got to put your face on and be switched on. What if I did 4? He said, do 4 and do same money. You can do 4. I did 4, and that's what people aren't flexible today. You know, I gave my managers Saturdays off because you want them to have something that no one else has. You've got to be attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sam worked that out early in the piece, and I just stayed. I had children, I had 3 kids when I worked for Sam, and it wasn't until I wanted to work a bit more, because I had my daughter and went back 4 weeks later on a Saturday, took the breast pump to work with me.
That's it?
Loved it. Like, you know, why wouldn't you put your
Pumping and cutting, or you did one or
no,
the
I
other?
did. Well, there was a day when someone nearly drank it in the fridge when I left it there, that we had to put labels on things. But Sam was just like that. He just, you know, you perform and do a good job, and he accommodated you, and that's what a good boss
There's
does.
something, it's a wanky word, but there's something very authentic about that, you know, and being able to bring the breast pump. I saw Pink on 60
yes.
Minutes. Did you see that?
Yeah,
and they were talking about
Love
that
it.
photo she shared on Instagram of some kind of
Well,
weird...
it's sort of stepped it up a notch since I was.
Well, it was
since I
some
feeding.
kind of vest that had inbuilt
no.
breast pumps, but...
Yeah.
Point is, listeners, this is not a breast pump. This is not a lactation conversation. She posted that on Facebook.
Because
and,
she's
you know,
real.
Real.
That's why people love her. She's absolutely real.
Tell me about that. You love Pink. I can see a bit of Pink in you.
Yeah, she, you know, I just love the way that she says, well, this is how I am, and I'm going to be the best version of me. And I think if we took that leaf as you know, as a person, but as a business leader, you know, people want to be with someone who's going somewhere, who's going places and doing things and got a thriving, growing business, not come in and these are all the things you're not allowed to do. You know, that's pretty sad, I think.
Yes, you say, you tell it how it is, right? And there's probably not enough. That's what attracted me to having this chat with you. I'm expecting some kind of, you know, don't do this, do that. They're all bloody doing this. They're all idiots. But, you know, there's not enough people, I don't think, out there who necessarily do that. And
I think as you get older, you get better at it. I think that you become comfortable in your skin. Like, I'm 53, but I was always pretty much a straight shooter. And yet, like me, we didn't, and I was okay with that. But I think I didn't find it hard to get people to work for me because I made it really clear as to how good it was going to be here, you know, and what you might find here. And especially women, like to have a nest of women and have no bitchiness. That's pretty cool if you can do that.
pretty hard.
Yeah, it is hard, but you just make the rules, you know.
I've just lost half my listening audience by saying
Whoops.
that. Yeah.
Well, I think one of my friends, Bruce, said to me years ago. He said,
Bruce, is he a hairdresser?
No,
Oh,
no
really?
hair. He said, you know what I like about you? You think like a man. I said, oh, Bruce, I don't think you can say that out loud. He said, you just do. It's not overcomplicated. And I think, you know, there's feminine energy and masculine energy, but I think we get caught up into the motion of everything. When if you just put emotion aside and then make a really good decision, and it's the same with divorce, you know, if you can put emotion aside. Like I've had friends who've taken 3 dining room chairs and he's got 3. What are you going to do with 3? Who comes in
Far
threes?
too rational.
I know. There's 4 and 2.
Correct.
Dining
You
room
can do
chairs.
exactly.
They sell more.
Yeah.
What are you really fighting over here?
Yeah. Okay. So, Lisa, you are 16 years working for the man.
Sam, yep.
Working for Sam. You love him. You've learned
Yep.
a lot from him. Did you know at the time that you were just building this treasure chest of business knowledge in order to one day start your own?
No, not at all. No. I decided I didn't want to drive anymore because I was in Gisborne. I did a 45-minute drive down to Melbourne. So if I wasn't going to do that every day, that's just too hard. So the GST was coming in and there was people folding who had hair salons who thought, well, now I'm going to have to count money for the government. I can't do this. And so there's a bit of a clearing sale. And I looked in this shop that had closed down that was a salon, and when I looked in there, someone looked back and went, can I help you? I thought, oh, that one's been taken. And then he said, up the road there's a couple of empty ones. So my intention was to have a salon of just one. I thought, nah, I'm over it, you know. sorting out all the things that Sam couldn't be bothered to sort out, and customer care was slipping and he really couldn't care anymore. And so I just wanted to work on my own. And then I thought, if the kids can come after school, we're good. So I put the salon wall halfway in the salon because there's a lot of back room. We pulled that out and moved it right down to the back 12 months later because it just took off. People wanted to come to me, and I suppose I had real good city hairdressing skills, and I had this really good country, make you feel good, yes, come in attitude.
Found that was your intersection.
Yeah, and that was just what I did, So put someone on. I started in the 1st of the 1st of the 1st. And
geez, you want to talk OCD?
Yeah,
I mean, did you intend
it's
that?
an accent, no. And I think my rent was $170
$111.
a week. Yeah, $111. Not good with numbers, so we've got to make it easy.
Yeah.
And I just put on a team member and another one, and I had it for 9 years, and I started and finished 9 apprentices in 9 years, which is unheard of. People find it really hard to train people today. I didn't. I just treated them like kids. Behave yourself or I'll give you a whack over the ear. And it just took off, and I loved it.
You make that rolled off your tongue then. Business ain't that easy.
Well, it was for me, and I think when I look back now, and I had a second business in the city. It wasn't as easy. No.
What was that? Tattoo parlour?
No, brothel. No, it wasn't. It was a salon.
That's another salon.
Another salon. Yeah, and I didn't work in that one, so it was harder to get it off the ground when you weren't there all the time.
So that's interesting. Now we've got a benchmark. We can do a split test here. So you got 2 salons. You opened at the same time.
No, because I was leaving the country to come and live in the city, so I sold the country one and bought a city one.
Okay. So the successful one's in the city.
In the country.
Oh, geez, mate.
Much
Easier in the
easier,
country.
because everyone knows your business.
Yeah,
so
right.
You don't even have to market yourself.
So the fact that you weren't there led to
yeah.
that doesn't bring a lot of hope, does it? Because
well,
all of a sudden it becomes key person dependent.
No, because you've got to get in there and get started.
Yeah,
and then once you do, then you can step back a bit. But you need to get in and make sure it's all done. I was already coaching other salons at that stage. And look, it was good. They advertised it for $30,000, this salon, and I told him he could have 10. And then he was a smart ass. I said, you can have 6 for your computer, because that's all it was worth. It wasn't worth anything. I think there was shonky business going on before we took it over, as in there was a lot of muscle men came in. Something was really suspicious there, yeah. And so I built it up and we sold it for good money 2 years later. So it wasn't a flop, but it wasn't like the heart and soul of the one that I was the centre of and then worked my way off. So it was kind of different.
You are working in the one in the country, and so
I worked my way off the floor though. I stopped working on the floor probably about 3 years before I sold it. So I just ran it with my mouth.
Okay. So what you mean by that is you weren't on the tools for the last 3 years.
Last 3 years I wasn't on the tools.
Were you in there doing things?
No, didn't need to be. Had reception.
Okay.
Yeah, so
all right.
One by itself.
So I want to find out what you did and what other business owners can do, both in salon land, retail land generally. But first, it is a fascinating industry, and I want to find out, because I'm guessing, and you're a coach now to hairdressers and salon owners, there's a lot of them doing a lot wrong. And there's a lot, in our little chat the other week, I walked past some salons, and the fit out, it's like a 5-star restaurant, and you just can't help but you then immediately make they must be making $1 million. Geez, they're doing well. You're telling me they're not.
No, quite often they're not. It's a real surprise, because when we start to work with a salon, or even when we pitch to work for the salon, what we do is we want to see I call their traffic. So I want to see how many people come in, what do they spend, how often they repeat the average dollar sale. And sometimes you go to these little shonky villas and you go, "Whew, good on you.
Smashing it.
Smashing it. Well done." And then you go to some and you think, I'm very impressed that they even want me to look, thinking it's a bit hoity-toity, and you think, what the hell's going down here? So I call them peacocks, those ones. They're very colourful at the front and blah, 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 and then they turn around and the bank account's all brown. And they'll even argue with you. I say, little things that you can do, like you could write on the mirror a promotion or something. No, not writing on my mirror. Why? It doesn't look good. I said, well, your bank account looks worse. But they sort of can't. They're very visual, and that's really uncomfortable. So, yeah, you've got to break that thinking that it's not an image,
few weeks ago in this chair we had Chris Lucas, who owns some of the most amazing restaurants in Melbourne: Chin Chin, Hawker's Hall, Baby Kong Pizza, all those. And I asked him a similar question, which was, there's no shortage of restaurants, and there seems to be a restaurant on every corner, and most can't be making $1. And he said, you know, you're right. Some are just lifestyle businesses. Some are happy to earn a wage. But his view was that Me Too doesn't intellectually interest him. He needs to create something that's special, that no one's done before.
Yep.
Do you agree with that, or
No,
are you...
absolutely. You've got to have a niche, because if, you know, I say to people all the time when I'm working with them, why should I come have my hair cut with you? And I say, because we're friendly and we're really nice. And I go,
Oh, sorry. What?
Aren't we all? And anyway, that's a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
You know, so what do you do? And look at the barbers. We nearly lost the barbers altogether. They almost disappeared, and now they've popped up. And you go past them on a Sunday, they're full of staff.
They're
full
amazing.
Of clients. Yeah, exactly, because they're a niche and they're working it out, and that's the secret. So colouring niches or cutting only. And there's a chap here in Fitzroy only cuts curly hair. That's it.
No.
Yep, they come from all over Australia.
Is it called curlies?
No, it's called Neil Loves Curls.
That's unreal.
He's like 135 or something like that for a haircut, and they travel everywhere. He's just a machine. He just loves curls. He, you know, trained himself all over the world, and he's just fantastic.
Is your advice then? I had niche down here. I think it's a fascinating discussion, because niches are scary. When people niche, they think they're going to polarise everyone else, which I'm not sure. I mean, Neil would, because you ain't got curly hair, you're not going to Neil, but...
Yeah, but his audience is far and wide, and so what he does is he works with a person who can't find that care anywhere else. Like even my curly hair, people would come to me from other hairdressers would say, go and see Lisa. And I'd say, where'd you come from? And they say, oh, the salon across the road sent me in. Because I don't know how to cut curly hair, and they're not interested. And because I have a head of curly hair, I was interested. So it can be that, can be blow waving. You know, we've got blow wave bars now. So yeah, or colouring. People specialise in colouring. So that's the secret. And you know, someone told me years ago, a niche is an inch wide, right? But it's a mile deep. And that is so true. Look at me. It's all I work with. Hair and beauty salons.
Yeah, I love it.
And to me, I can be so good at it because that's all I'm focused on. You know, I have people come to me who want me to coach them. I've got one at the moment. She's a physio for dogs. And she sent me this lovely email, and I sent back, no, you know, you're not hair and beauty. And she came back again and said, but you know what, actually, I think you're wrong, blah, blah. And I said, all right, I'll talk to you. Because she's really keen, and I don't mind helping someone who's feisty and, you know, someone like that. So, you know, whether I do or not, I've helped the odd personal trainer, but I just think I love the hairy people. You know, I love them because they're my people. I made all the mistakes they made as well.
So in that inch wide niche, and just to be clear, are you suggesting that like a tip for a salon or any type of business is consider owning a niche? Yeah, okay.
Do what you love.
Okay, so within that, a niche has its own language, so that's great. You can speak you speak the same language. It's easy for others to refer you. Because if you're the chick who cuts curly hair and that's all...
And they don't want to cut it, so they send it to you.
Send it to you. Okay.
Yeah. Neil sends all his colours down the road, and I've got salons that I work with now, and they send them all to Neil. Send them to Neil. Because they want, you know, a genuine person who cares about another person, wants them to get the right thing, so send them there.
How do you have a process for identifying your niche?
Well, I think it's pretty easy because it's what you love. You know, people do what they're good at, and so they get better and better at it. But say, for example, you've got kids coming in, and they all hate kids, so they just price them out. You know, but there's people who even do niches for kids. And we came across a salon the other day in Sydney, and she's niched her salon. She's just started, and she's fitted it all out for the disabled. She's even got a hoist to lift them out of their wheelchairs and into the basin.
And that's her thing?
That's her thing.
Wow.
Awesome.
People are going to travel from everywhere.
Well, that's right. And so she's only just starting to, you know, break even, and we want to help her with that because her audience is going to be an organisation, so people will bring them to. So she's got a special room, doesn't look at all like a salon for kids with autism. Amazing.
What if you, okay, so to choose a niche, you choose something you love. What if your love isn't a profitable thing?
Well, you might say that about someone who's going to work with a disability too, but I think you can make it a profitable thing. You know, so I think anything that you do should be profitable. It's like blow waves. You know, there's blow wave salons, and some of them aren't profitable because they're just blow waving. But others that do it fast, you know, who work, you know, on a rebooking system and have packages and that, then it can work. So I don't know. I just think if you really love what you do, then you'll find a way to make it work. You've just got to think wider. And most people, like even in my business, I only coach salons that I could drive to. Well, that wasn't going to work forever, was it? I was going to run out of it. So now I coach salons all across Australia. We've had our first account in New Zealand. So, you know, you've got to think bigger. And if you've got a niche, you've got to think bigger. So that's just what happens when you niche. You start to get really smart about it. You get a reputation with it, and then people come from far and wide. So if you physically have to touch someone like you do in a salon, then that is a little limiting. I agree. But if you have things like I do, which is education, or I just need my voice, you've just got to be able to get to you. You film a lot of content. You have stuff that you can give to them beforehand. So it works a treat.
I just want to. We'll wrap up niche in a minute, but it is a fascinating topic. And so you find something you love. You find a way to make it work. What if there is the hairdresser down? What if my niche? I'm a hairdresser. My niche is colouring, and the other salon a few doors down is also colouring. Does she go, oh no, I should choose something else, or you just do it better than them?
Well, you're thinking too small for starters. So let's think about Indian restaurants.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. Well, think about Indian restaurants.
Yes.
Well, they're side by side.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make them right.
I know, but if you do an exceptional job, it will be right.
Yes. Okay,
so you're not worried about everyone else. Just perfect what you're doing.
Geez, you're harsh, mate. I'm almost going to wrap this up.
Sorry.
No, I love it.
I do. I get a bit excited. Like the
Good.
world's full of can't-do people.
Yes.
What the hell?
Yes.
It just drives me insane.
I had another fellow in this chair.
There, love.
Glenn Azar. He said we're all trying to get to death safely.
Yeah.
That was his thing. Gave me a T-shirt. # not dead yet.
Yeah, exactly. Have a crack.
Have a crack.
Have a crack. And stop telling me how it can't work. If you show up and you want to work with me and you say, oh, I can't find staff, blah, blah, blah. Like, I have two things. I have to make sure you're not going to whinge about how good it was in 1984, because I'm not interested. And the other thing is, you've got to tell me that what you want and can I help you to do it, not how it's not going to work. You know, it's like, when I hear someone's been married 3 times, I think, good on you, have another crack. Instead of I got married once, not even having coffee with anyone now.
Yeah, right.
Well, how's that working for you?
Did you diss 1984 before? Because it's one of my favourite years.
Oh, is it so?
Yeah. You'd be an 80s chick. I'm going to digress here, but what about the hair in the 80s?
Oh, we used to tip our hair upside down and spray it with a tin of lacquer. How do we even get that in our handbags? We used to go to the underground, all the women were upside down in the powder room.
Great.
I think, what, like, you know, I remember my brother coming from the country to pick me up out of the academy, and I said, Danny, you've got to come. At 5 o'clock, there's 300 women come out. They're all gorgeous, right? Anyway, he was a farmer. He came down, he sat in the car, he said, well, I saw 348 that were ugly. I said, what do you mean? He goes, oh, they had that much makeup on, their hair was sticking up. Oh, I said, I forgot
Daddy,
you like a natural girl.
You can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, clearly.
Let's talk, we're going to go around the place here, but let's now sort of dissect other parts, other component parts that make for a successful salon business. Can I just talk retail? Is that
yeah, retail's my thing. I wrote a book on that.
What was it called?
Your Salon Retail.
You're clever.
Such a ripper.
Let's talk pricing. Why are men's haircuts so much cheaper than women's? When my wife says I'm going to get a haircut...
Because hairdressers are silly.
Huh?
Because hairdressers are silly.
You reckon... Oh, don't you dare say that men's haircuts should be...
They don't have a blow away for starters, right? Yeah. So a woman generally has a cut and a blow away. You know.
Yeah.
Well, look, my Simon, I used to cut his hair. I did it about
I reckon
twice.
I've got you here.
Hey?
I reckon it's a scam.
No. Women will pay more.
They will.
do it.
You don't want that money burning a hole in your wife's pocket.
Men aren't pains in the arse.
Right.
So you shouldn't have to charge them, especially if you've got big boobs. They're fine.
Who, the men?
No, the women.
Oh, the women.
The hairdressers. They'll do anything. No,
Sex
in the
sells.
Uber, that's right. In the Uber on the way in, the bloke said to me, he asked where I was going or something, so I told him, and he said...
In life or just...
No, into here. And he said, I said, I'm doing an interview for blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I work in the hair and beauty space. He goes, yeah, I don't really go there much. So I turned to my right and saw him. I thought, yeah, you probably don't. No hair left. Really? He said, "Oh, I might make a comeback."
Love it. So what do you say to, what's your pricing advice to a salon owner that you're coaching?
Well, I think it's got to start, and I say this to everybody, so for every half an hour you've got to charge 45 minutes at least.
$45.
$45, sorry, $45 at least, right? And then you go up from there. So that's your base. Otherwise you're not going to make any money. So how people go in and pay $10 for a haircut, I don't know. There's something dodgy going on there.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Well, it's not right, and I don't know why we don't shut them down, to be honest. But anyways, and so then for years of service, you know, the customer care and you know, all the things that you've been trained. Like, I got a haircut. I used to cut hair at High Point for $26 for men, right? When I first started, way back in the 80s. You can still get a haircut there.
You can. For
And that's what the
$26.
Uber driver was saying today. He said, when's coffee going to get off $3? He said, how long's coffee been $3.80? He said, I reckon 10 years. I said, I agree. He said, they should be $6.
Jeez.
True. And hairdressing's one of those things that hasn't gone up. Flights were dearer 10 years ago than they are now.
Well, the price elasticity of hairdressing is clearly reaching a point where, I mean, most blokes aren't going to pay $50 for a haircut. Well, I'm sorry, but really?
Some aren't. We can go to a barber.
Value it.
No, I know, but I also think you can go somewhere where they don't give you any advice on how to look after your hair at home. So they don't sell you a product. They don't talk to you about your scalp. Most men go bald because they use too many laurel sulfates in their shampoo. You don't know about that.
It was the laurels.
Yeah, the laurels, they're buggers.
Yeah.
And so there's so much more advice. But, you know, think of it like this, and this is what I say to salon owners. It's like food. Sometimes I just want a McDonald's. And other times I want a fine dining with a big glass of wine. So what do you want when you want a haircut? I can't help it if you only want McDonald's. There's salons for you. But if you want to go somewhere where they're actually ahead of the curve, they know what's going on, they treat you beautifully. Like, what a haircut can give you is an unbelievable edge and confidence. It is.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So that's the same as fine dining. Some people don't care that there's little rose petals on the side of your dish. They go, what am I going to do, eat them? No. Right? Clearly, I've got 5 brothers. They come down from the country. They said, why do they put all this shit in the food? Sorry if I said that word. But
You've said it 3 times prior to that, so don't worry.
Okay, we could. And so I just think, oh, Gary, why wouldn't you want it?
Yeah.
Like he just wants pie and chips.
Let's talk customer experience, because I'm going to guess that's pretty close to your heart. There is a barber shop that I've been to, and I haven't made it a habit of going there, and now I'm wondering why, because the experience they offer is fantastic, and they do charge about $50 for a haircut. But you walk in, it's an open bar. You can have everything from a Jack Daniels and Coke through to a cheap beer. Yep. It's part of the deal. You don't pay for that. You know, all the blokes have got tats. They're all looking like this hipster thing. There's very cool posters. There's barbers. It is a total immersive experience, and it's ace. And it's all blokes, and we're all talking crap, and it's just a lot of fun. So I get that niche. They're charging what they deserve.
Yeah. No, it's good experience.
So customer experience. How do you get a hairdresser who goes, what are you talking about? I don't even know what marketing is, much less customer experience. How do you get them to buy into that concept?
Well, I think for starters, the first problem is that they don't ever buy what they sell. So I call them vegetarians that work in butcher shops. It's all wrong, isn't it? It's all wrong. So if you don't ever buy what you sell, how would you know what it feels like? So most of them have been in the industry since they left school. They've never even been out and had an experience. They've never, and then I get them to go and have it, and they go, oh, I couldn't go. What if they muck it up? I go, well, hello, now you know what the customer feels like. So the good salon owners will be going out all the time and having their hair done, and they'll pick up on tips here and there, and they know what's going on. They go, oh, that was really cool. I like the way they did this, or I like the way they did. They're hidden. They've got no idea what's going on. So that's really sad. So that's very hard for them to give that experience if they don't know. And then you've got some in the salon, probably one, the owner, who does give an exceptional experience, but the others don't. So that was kind of my problem. I had people who wanted me, and it was the Lisa Sparkle that they wanted. It wasn't necessarily the haircut. So I had to work on a way that I could teach other people to be so engaging. So I'd be cutting hair, and then someone's coming to the door with the pram, and I leave my client to open the door for the lady with the pram when the hairdressers are standing there. What the hell? That's a customer experience too. You know, nothing. Sam taught me, short of prostitution, everything's possible. That's what he taught me, and that's what we used to say.
Love Sam.
Yeah, and that's where I learnt that skill to look after people, so he had no problem with that. And then he was just bank them up behind you. He goes, yeah, Lisa won't be long. I'm thinking, oh my God, how am I going to cut faster? So, you know, there's a whole generation who take their time. They're artists. And they're working for you.
You just flicked your eyes back. Really?
Yeah. So people want a good service, but they want it in an incredible short amount of time. No one wants to spend 3 hours in a salon.
Oh.
If you could do the same colour and take an hour and a half, I think it's worth twice the money.
Okay. Just come back to hold the thought around customer experience. So what you first of all your tip was go and buy what you sell.
Yep.
Right? And do it often.
Yep. And do the same, get people into your place and critique your team members too.
Yes.
So easy. What's the front door experience like? Were you offered to rebook? Were you offered styling tips on how to manage your hair in between?
Yep.
You know, same as beauty treatments. You know, they do a beauty treatment and the next day they complain because they all ring up because they're red in the face. I go, well, why didn't you explain to them this is going to happen? You could have pictures. So they don't think about what the customer doesn't know. They just, because they know it, they think everyone knows it. And they go, oh, bloody clients are ringing me up.
So part of this customer experience lease is the fact that you've got, everyone wanted the lease and sparkle, right? And then you've got all these other staff who don't have the leases. How do you get people to buy into what you do? Do you just lead by example?
Well, you teach them. You've got to make time to work on your team. And then people want to train their people in skill, as in technical skill. That's only part of it.
That's given. It's like that's learned.
Well, I think you can learn that. But if you teach people to give a shit and care, then they will do the skill properly. You know, and I was an average hairdresser. I wasn't an exceptional hairdresser. I was an amazing people person. Mm-hmm. That's what won me all the points. Mm-hmm. And that's what you have to teach people. So you do teach them to, you know, that's just what you do. Expect that you're going to teach someone. So if you find good people, you can teach them the skill. Right? Okay. But what they do is they chase skill and then they expect to teach someone to be a good person. I've never seen that work yet. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I had great success with finding good people who want a great boss. And I was a great boss. When I left the country salon to go to the city, and I thought, well, no one's going to know who I am, so how am I going to find staff? Whereas in the country it was easy because people go, work there if you're serious, you know, if you want a good place to work, but you'll take no shit, right? So that was fine. So every one of them wrote down all the reasons why you should work for me, and I was blown away that the single thing that came back was, she'll call you on your bullshit. It's a great place to work. There's no bitchiness. Yep. Treats us all equal, everyone, from apprentice to the senior. And that's what they loved about me. When at times I thought, I'm being a bit harsh here. But, you know, we had a magic door. When you walked into the door, it was called a shit shaver. If you've got a bad attitude, I'd just grab you by the shoulders and go, come back here, love. I go, zzz, zzz, zzz. There you shave a bit of shit off you. Now come in, see, made you laugh. So there's a nice way of saying to people, you know, this is an island. So when you come into work, all your troubles get left behind. Isn't that a good place to be? So it doesn't matter what's going down in your life, come and work here where it's a great place to work. Mm-hmm. And if you start to talk about things, you just put your hand up. Done.
Tell it to the hand.
Don't tell it at all.
Don't tell it at all.
And if we were going to say anything negative, I had to take you out the front of the salon. So if we were going to talk about a client who was driving us insane, we weren't allowed to talk about it in the salon. You just say, come out the front.
It feels to me like I can't help but agree with what you're saying, but there'll be business owners that you work with who are highly, like, give you the most amazing haircuts ever, but you're telling them to pull their staff out and put their hand up and give them a shit shave and take them outside, and I mean, it just might not be part of their DNA.
But I think if you're going to lead a team, isn't that what running a business is about?
Yeah.
Then you need to learn this. If you don't learn it, you're just going to chase your tail. The amount of salons we come across that got up to 5 or 6 on team and then ended up back to none again. Why is that? Because there was no honesty in the business. There was no, this is how it's going to be, no culture, no core. So therefore, it's going to fall over at any point.
I imagine there'd be a lot. The hairdressing industry would be full of people who go and start working at a salon as a hair cutter or friends, but then they go, oh, I reckon I could do this myself. So there's this multiplier effect of...
Yeah, they do, and we don't have that much trouble in beauty. Beauty, you've got to cost a lot of money to open a proper heavy-duty beauty salon, you know. But hairdressing, it doesn't cost much at all. But then I just think the customer experience has got to change, where if you go to one salon, there's only 1 or 2 people in there, then you've really limited to your choices. Like, I want to go to a salon where she's great, he's fantastic, he's awesome, she's great. And I've got choices.
Yeah, right.
You know, imagine going in to get your coffee and they go, no, he's not here today, no coffee. Oh, shit. Right? So it's about, you have to be a leader. It's as simple as that. And I don't care who you are, what business you're in, if you don't know how to lead a team and paint a picture of what's wonderful in the future and where we're going, especially this generation, they're very different.
Don't get me started, I've got 3 of them.
I think they're fantastic. How old are yours? age?
They're 17, 19 and 21.
Yeah, mine are twin boys 26 and a daughter 27.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've raised them to stick up for themselves.
Yeah. I am talking to Lisa Conway. She's from Zing Business Coaching, hairdresser, was ex-hairdresser, country girl, made good. Now, Lisa, let's talk. We have been talking marketing. Everything we've been talking about has been marketing. But when you sit down with a salon owner and say, righto, what marketing are you doing? Do they kind of glaze over?
No, because they want to do marketing. That's where they say, oh, I just need more customers. I want to market. And I go, well, how long have you been in business? They go, 8 years. I go, what'd you do the ones you had? They go, what do you mean? I go, well, have a look. We've got, 80 people come through the door every week. How many new ones? 20? And then you're still on 80. So clearly you're killing the same amount as you're getting.
Yeah.
And they think, So one of the things we make them do is you've got to look at the names of the people who didn't return. 4 months we give them. If someone hasn't returned in 4 months, they're somewhere else. So before we teach you marketing, we can teach you some in-house ones, right? But before we teach you marketing, we want to tidy up your customer service and get everything right first, because when you market, it's like shine the light on me. Look at me as a business. So if you market before you've got things tidied up, you're going to grow, cancer grows too. Mm-hmm. So you've got to be careful about that. So some of them, we lose accounts because they just want marketing. I think, well, go somewhere else, find just marketing. But we do the whole enchilada. That's what we do. So marketing, to me, I think they don't understand it. So they think it's like doing a letterbox. Yeah,
like
letterbox
paper ad.
drop. Yep, something like that. Well, I think that's probably even moved on. Or they put things on Facebook, and they put a post on Facebook and wonder why it doesn't work. And so I go, well, social media is not for that. It's about gathering a tribe and giving value back. So giving tips and how to look after your hair and, what skin's like and all of those sort of things. So I don't think they understand it, for starters. To me, the word marketing is just repeating your story again and again, no matter where you go. And people often say, oh, we just do word of mouth. Well, that just tells me you're lazy. You don't know how to do it. So you can do word of mouth on steroids by doing a referral card or things like that. So it makes sense to refer people who already know and love you and trust you. They know who to pick for you. So there's lots of things like that. But marketing, it's really fun. It's really fun.
Bloody oath it is.
I love it. But I think that you've got to understand it before you can start it.
I don't think enough business owners see it as fun. I mean, their accountants are telling them it's an expense.
Fishing.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
It's like a net. Ooh, got one.
Well, yeah, as long as you know what net to pull out. And,
and you'll get the odd boot. You'll get the odd boot. That's fine. But I think, well, simple. I say to people, now everyone who comes to your salon, they've got to go somewhere else. I want you to just ask everybody, do you like that restaurant, or do you go to the yoga studio, or where else do your customers hang out? And you could ask that just casually and find out, and just keep a little list, and then you go to those people. So if you're beauty only, go find a hairdressing salon near you and do a cross-pollination thing. A florist, I even did it with a dry cleaner.
Partnerships.
Yep, 50 blow waves for free for his top 50 accounts. In they come. So people who have dry cleaning, they're a bit fussy.
Yes.
So they have their hair done.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Not hard. That's a partnership strategy.
That's right. Florist, people who are spending over $100 in a florist for someone, they've got money.
Yep.
So they're the ones I want. So it's about finding those kind of people. I loved it. It wasn't until I got off the
that's
floor.
fun. It's just a game, right?
It's like a game.
Right.
It's a fishing game.
Who else has got my customers? Who
roll
else
the dice, you might get 2 6s.
Correct.
Who else has got my customers?
Yeah.
But what they do wrong is they come into your business and they go, can you put these, they're really sheepish, can you put these on your counter? And that,
Right.
my hairdressers would say yes, and I'd come and go, who put this shit here?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, Susie, I didn't know what to say. I turn them over. The first thing I'm really happy is if there's nothing on the back, they make really good notes for the grocery store. So I always say to people, when you do marketing, put something on both sides, because that's what I used to do. So if you do that, then, why would you do that? If I'm going to partner with you, I'm going to take you out for a coffee, I want to talk to you. First I might send you a letter, say, this is who I am. I wouldn't send a letter, I'd do a little video because that works for me. And you'd go, oh, who's this sticky nose? You'd have a look. I'd say who I am and what I want to do, and I want to help you in your business, and maybe you can help me back in mine. And they go, oh, this chick's a bit different.
It's not hard.
It's not hard, it's fun. Yeah. But if you got your head down and your bum up cutting hair all day, where are you going to fit this in?
So to that point, do you then get your clients to put aside a dedicated amount of time to do their marketing?
Half a day a week.
Love it.
So you've got to find 4 hours.
Yep.
Phone off, TV off, kids tied up somewhere. 4
Probably
hours a week.
Tie them up, but get them out somewhere.
Yeah. Get them to grandma.
Yeah.
But you can find 4 hours a week uninterrupted, and I say even in those 4 hours you've only got to find 45 minutes for each hour. right? But if you concentrate for 45, you can get a lot done.
A lot done.
Minutes.
Yep.
But, you know, think about it. Might be the first session might be to ring, you know, 5 of your people that you think you could synergise with. Easy.
Or 10 clients who haven't been back for 4 months.
That's it.
That'd be a gutsy thing because you don't want to hear, oh, I've gone somewhere else. But hey,
That's
maybe
business.
that's a bit,
You know, you put
welcome
your
to
hand
life.
up to be a business owner. Hello.
Yep.
You know, the rewards are exceptional. So, but you've got to put in. That's it. I remember the first time I sent out my first lot of lost clients. So I'd gone back over 12 months or so, and I had these 300 letters made. And I literally hung on to them in the postie box. I was scared to let them go. Because I thought everyone would think, oh, God, she's desperate now. Yeah. And they just came in and just said, hi, I haven't seen you for a while. We'd love to see you again. That's it, right? Not, did we hurt you? Did we shit you? None of that.
Cut
and
your
they
ear
came
off.
in with these $30 vouchers, and it was $30 for cut and colour. And they came in and said, oh, we've been thinking about you. Yeah, I thought I'd come in. So what it did was it gave them, let them know that I'm happy for them to come back. It was not that. No one's lying awake thinking about your business.
Correct.
At
You
all.
are, the owner is,
The owner's-
right?
no
and
one
you're
else
thinking,
is.
oh, everyone must be, it's not at
You
all.
think about how many
Last thing they're thinking
businesses
about.
you lie awake thinking about at night. None.
None.
Unless there's some hot bloke at the, you know, good eye candy at
There you go.
the jump. But other than that, you're not.
Correct.
True.
Correct.
So get over yourself, dickhead. I say that all the time.
Wow, good advice, eh? Client's paying a few $100 and you're like, mate, get over yourself, you're a dickhead. There you go. I love your work, mate. I love the fact that you are helping business owners like salon owners who are really struggling with this stuff.
Yeah, stressful.
They are stressed, and hence, you
Time
know,
poor.
yeah.
Little most of my clients have little families. I hate that. You should be able to go and pick your kids up from school.
There must be, just to finish up, is there a moment you can reflect on? Because you must drop value bombs every time you get in front of a business. You know so much more. You can see these people, you were there decades ago, right? And then you drop this little value bomb. Maybe there's tears sometimes where someone goes,
oh, we make them cry all the time. Yeah, I think you get a change out of, I should say that nicely, you get a change out of emotion, right? So you've got to be excited. The only way you'll change is if you're angry or excited or happy and you just, you know, or tears of joy, right? But if someone comes to me and they're, I might have a crack at this coaching. No, I say, you've got to be excited and nervous. It's a bit like when you find out you're pregnant, you think, oh God, now I've got to get it out. Got it in, right?
that was exciting.
Yeah, that was exciting. That bit. Now you think, I've got to get it out. It's £9. So it's a bit like that. And I say to people, and especially now I coach the coaches, so we're getting coaches all across Australia now, and they'll say, I can't get through to this girl, and I've tried to tell her, and I say, what did she say? No, I can't. I said, well, make her cry. And they go, what do you mean? I go, make her cry. Get to the bottom of it.
Yep.
You know, and my coach made me cry not long ago, and he said, what's really going on? And he said it a few times, and I wanted to punch him, and I thought, well, you know, and then I came through with what was really going on. You know, and he just said, good, now we know what we're working with. Thank you for being honest. And it's the same with them. I think, especially our environment, we've got to put on this good face for everybody, and deep down, they don't look after themselves. And so, therefore, they're scared to have a crack in case it doesn't go. And so often they're very private and they don't want to say they're being coached, and then they get a few months down the track and they start to see the numbers go up, and then they start to do things at home. Like we've even helped people put rosters up for their teenage kids to cook a meal during the week. Like, why are you doing everything? Who said you were a martyr? So basically we teach them business confidence, right? And when you're confident, you can do anything. You go home to your husband and you say, actually I'm really struggling and I'd like you to help me with this. He's the first bloke you say, oh great, I'll help you. But I didn't know. So,
how many hairdressers does it take to screw in a light bulb, Lisa?
They can do it on their own. Without a ladder.
Your clients can.
Oh, they're tough.
But Google tells me too, one to change the light bulb and the other to say, wow, that looks fabulous, Gary.
I do like that.
Thank you very much. Love your work. Thank you, mate.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Nice to finish on a dad joke.
They're always good.
We miss anything? Good.
No, you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. Where are you off to now?
Back home, I've got a few...
Where do you live?
In Parkville.
Yeah,
Just
close.
Flemington Road,
Real
just
close.
near the children's. Yeah. What about you?
Brighton East.
Right next. Very nice.
But I've got some, I do some radio and talking lifestyle now, and then I put a few episodes together because this goes on Virgin, so I'll record the stuff for that.
Alright, you might send me a link.
I will. See ya.
Do I need this key to get out?